I was like, all right, I'm gonna set a goal. It's the start of summer. Let's see if I can get 10,000 followers by the end of it. If I hit it, I'm gonna keep going. If not, I quit. So instantly I turned it almost into like a mathematical equation. My dad was a math teacher. I was always number driven. I'm an analytics guy. So I had my sister on a 15% commission based salary.
What is up, everyone? If you can't tell, I am really, really excited. This is the first ever episode of the business side. And that voice you heard is none other than Josh Richards, who is one of the biggest TikTok stars on the planet. He has more than 24 million followers. But what makes this conversation super interesting is we focus on how Josh uses his social status to get into business. At the age of 20, he's the co-founder of talent management firm TalentX. He's the chief strategy officer at Triller, and he's an angel investor in a number of startups, recently becoming a partner at Remus Capital. And our conversation really ranges from how 14-year-old Josh growth hacked the Musical.ly leaderboards, his disastrous experience with his first manager, if TikTok houses are a bubble, why he doesn't do brand deals, and how to structure influencer equity agreements. But enough for me. Let's get back into the episode. So this is my admission. I was debating last night when I was sitting in bed, do I tell Josh this?
Right.
I'll be honest. I really wanted to not like you. I was like, this fucking kid on this TikTok, shirtless, with the abs. Honestly, I was like, fuck this kid. I was like, this
who
fucking
wants
kid.
to like him? Who wants to like that guy? You know what I mean? That's what I said on the podcast with Dave. The first episode we had when we talked about me when I first started my career, when I was like a 14-year-old doing social media, is, you know what? I would have bullied that kid too. I would have been the people that I get mad at, that I'm, you know what, fuck those people. They're fake. They switch up. Now they always ask me to hang out. I would have been one of those people. I would have made fun of the guy that like is doing Musical.ly.
Right. So you own it. So do you think about that in social and you think you have 24 million followers? Does that register where you're just like, there's also this 30-year-old, slightly overweight dude who's married, who lives in Brooklyn, who's just looking at his phone and he's like, fuck this motherfucker.
I mean, I think about it, but at the same time, I just follow my brand. I try to stick to a brand. And I think that I've also pivoted so much in my career. When you go back like to when I was 14, 15, there'll always be videos that pop up of people like making fun of me because my content was so cringy. It wasn't just take your shirt off, be a wiggle dicker, like throw up a cute looking video, get the girls thinking that you're good looking. It was me doing the weirdest content on the internet. Like I just can't even like sticking chargers up my nose with the Apple plug-in audio effect to make it seem like I'm just a robot. You know what I mean? Like weird stuff.
Right.
So I went from that to pivoting into the fuck boy is what it's labeled, like content. And because I was going on a tour that was like that, I knew that that was where social media was going when I saw what was going on the For You page of Musical.ly. And now it's kind of like, all right, I have a fan base. It's large. Now I can pivot into whatever the hell I want, hopefully. And that's kind of what I'm doing with the Barstool, going more into the sports direction, filming videos with the pro San Francisco lacrosse team, like all that type of stuff.
So that's the interesting thing to me. So if you back up to 14-year-old Josh.
Right.
So I heard this moment, and you'll explain it, where you go viral on your sister's Musical.ly account.
Mm-hmm.
Normal people, the average person goes viral. They show all their friends, and then they're done. They don't follow up on that success.
Right.
So walk me through 14-year-old Josh goes viral on the sister's account. What happens next?
So the next thing that happens is I see the comments section, right? I go to that comment section on the post. I see all these girls commenting, asking what my ad is. Like, what is my username? What's his account? And I'm like, one, this is cool. Girls are liking me. And then two, I saw this almost, I was intrigued. I was really intrigued. At that point, I had a sports account, and it was an editing account. I loved to edit back then. And I would just do almost like montages. I would edit sports montages of my favorite team, and I grew an account to like 10 to 50K on Instagram, right? So I was already a little bit familiar with social media, but not so much me being the front facing part of it. And yeah, I was like, all right, I'm gonna set a goal. It's the start of summer. Let's see if I can get 10,000 followers by the end of it. If I hit it, I'm gonna keep going. If not, I quit. So instantly I turned it almost into like a mathematical equation. My dad was a math teacher. I was always number driven. I'm an analytics guy. So I had my sister on a 15% commission based salary hired.
Where'd you come up with the 15? Where'd you come up with the 15?
I don't know. I just liked 15. I looked up, I think what I did is I looked up the typical manager cut in LA, and it came up like 10 to 20%. So I was like, I'll put it in the middle. And
this is your older sister?
Younger sister. She was like,
that makes more sense. Now it makes more sense.
Yeah. She was younger than me by a year. So she was actually going to the leaderboards. There was a leaderboard feature back then on Musical.ly. And I saw that there was actually a leaderboard for this thing called Top Gifters. And Top Gifters were the people donating the most money when you went live, right? And I was like, all right, those are the fans I want. I want the fans that are spending the most money. Why do I need any other fans? I knew I wasn't the biggest on the app. Musical.ly was on the decline at the time. It was really hard to gain followers. So why would I try to gain any other follower than the one that's spending the most money? So I had my sister go through the top 200 top gifters on that leaderboards. She would tap their profile, follow them, like 10 of their posts, unfollow them, leave their profile, and go down the entire leaderboards. At the same time, I would go live on my account for 4 hours in a row, 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. at night, while she's doing it in the room beside me. So they would see my username, they would see my account, they'd be like, oh, this person just followed me and like 10 of my videos. I'm going to follow them back. When they go to follow me back, they would also see I'm live, or they would just go to my account to start following me back, see I'm live. And then they're like, oh, I'll join his live. See what he like, why'd he come in my account, right? Like, let me go see who this is. They tap my live. Now I got them in my live. As soon as they went in my live, I knew I got them. I was like, game over. And I knew they joined because they would enter, and they would enter with a red username because I followed them. So it showed a different like little tag. It just showed something a little extra. So I'd give them more attention. I'd be like, yo, what's up? cbrook27_. Like, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having an amazing day. And then they send a gift. And then it was just like, boom, got it. I was the top paid, I think, like live streamer for that summer doing that.
2K a day, you were saying. That's what you said on the Palm podcast. You were making 2K a day. But I still don't get it. I don't get how a 14-year-old is like, all right, because it's a very business equation you're looking at. So you're saying the most lucrative
100%.
fam is live streaming.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to get my users to come to me. My sister, my employee, and my agent is going to go like these pictures. It's going to come back to me. Once I get them in my little ecosystem, I monetize. Who instilled that mindset, or were you just born with it? Was it your parents? At 14, I think I was, I don't want to say what I was doing, but like, I just don't get it.
I mean, honestly, I was always I knew I was a business kid at this point. I was 14 years old with a mindset of always trying to make money. I was a kid that would race on the schoolyard, but I wouldn't just race you. I would be like, yo, let's race for $5. Let's see who's going to race and win money. And then I would make a racing league. You know what I mean? Where it was this whole school is racing against each other for $2, and then I get a top commission because I'm running. I was always that was how my brain was wired. And when the social media came and I found you can make money off of it, I was like, all right, this is going to be something. This is going to be the next big thing. I know it's going to happen. I just need to make sure I like seize this opportunity. And that's what I tried to do. So I was taking every single step I could to ensure my sister going to those, going direct to the consumer, ensure I'm getting the top paying customers. And then also to grow my account, I knew that wasn't going to be how I grew. I was just making money. Okay, now how do I maintain a great audience? So me and my sister would do this together during the day, is we would go to the top creators on the app, the top Musical.ly stars. And we'd go to the comment section of the posts, go to the people that are commenting like heart eyes or commenting some compliment, right? They're commenting something good, because that means those have to be the most active fans. They're liking the video, watching the video, then also commenting about it. So they took 3 steps to ensure that you notice them on their posts, not just watching 1, not just liking 2. They took all 3. So we would go through and do the exact same trick, the following, liking, unfollowing them. And we would do that until I gained about, back then it was 250 followers a day was the goal every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And that was from growing my account from 0 to 5,000. And then after we hit that, we were like, all right, let's try to up it, see if we can get 300 people to follow me a day. It just continuously was growing like that until I eventually could grow without doing those following hacks.
And then at some point, Musical.ly was kind of happening, and then it kind of started to peter off. And then you started to hear about TikTok. So talk me through that transition of Musical.ly to TikTok.
Yeah, so Musical.ly went absolutely cold. Like, I pretty much started the app and it was already on its way out. And then maybe a year after me being on it, it was dead. It was going nowhere. It was looking super bad for Musical.ly. I remember everyone's numbers dropping like crazy. And then 8 more months went on of that until all of a sudden on Musical.ly, you started seeing the platform changing a little bit. So what happened is they slowly almost integrated ByteDance's takeover. It wasn't this all at once conversion from Musical.ly to TikTok. You saw the For You page came instead of the featured page all of a sudden. And then it was like a change of what content was getting pushed and then who on the app was getting pushed. And through that 8-month period, I started just studying the For You page. Like, I was like, okay, why are they coming out with this? This is weird. Why is there a For You page and a featured page? Because at one point there was both. So it was even weirder. You could tell they were doing testing, right? So I was like, okay, what's going on? So I started studying the For You page and realized now it's going to be all about comments and shares. That's what they were driving off of solely. So if your video got a lot of comments or it got a lot of shares, it was getting pushed like crazy on the For You page, because they were pretty much using those 2 indicators as people are watching the post a lot or people are really engaging with the post. So that means it must be a good video. So then I remember, fast forward 4 months, I've kind of figured out what I need to post, and the switchover happens. I was live during the actual transfer from Musical.ly to TikTok because I wanted to see if my account would get shut down or whatever would happen. So I was live streaming it almost like an event, and nothing happened. So I went on my iPad that I had while I was live and I updated Musical.ly, turned into TikTok. I went on, the app was completely the same, it seemed like. So then I just went to bed, woke up the next morning, started pushing out the videos that I thought were going to do better with the new For You page. And it instantly just like my account blew up. I posted a tutorial video because I knew people would, one, watch an entire tutorial video because they want to learn whatever the trick is, they want to learn it. So that's why they're watching the video. And then 2, they're going to save it because they're going to go back to it. They're probably not doing that tutorial trick in that second. They're probably seeing it on the app and like, oh, I could use this later. Let me save that. And then I'll come back and watch it, not only again and give me another view, but just push it on the algorithm. So my first tutorial did 60 to 70 million views on the app. And
how many people are you texting and being like, I figured out the algorithm, I'm going viral? Like, are you running around the house?
0 people. I texted 0 people. I wasn't letting anyone know my trick, bro. Not one person.
Oh, if I do anything even the slightest bit interesting, everyone in my entire life knows. Okay. All right.
I mean, I told my family, but that was about it.
Well, what are your parents are just like, go for this, right?
They were super supportive. I mean, they were used to me completely destroying their house for the other little business ventures I had. Like, I had a lacrosse company where I was dyeing mesh in the
you look like
entire carpet. Yeah, I played
the hair is either lax and hockey.
Yeah, those were the 2 sports. I played hockey since like I pretty much like first playing sports, and then lacrosse came soon after. So but yeah, I used to dye lacrosse mesh, destroyed their basement, destroyed the carpet, tried to get like them to give me one of the bathrooms in the house, like the whole tub, just so I could make skim boards and have like the curve in them. Like they were used to me just with these crazy ideas. So when they saw this one really working and making money, and that I was going at it from more of a business approach than just I'm some kid posting videos of myself and making money, let me go buy these shoes and these clothes and this car. It was like I was going at it from a very different
so you're going viral. Do you then hire a team around you? Do you hire the agent? Do you hire the manager? Do you do that whole
so route? I had the worst probably manager experience from the start, like ever. I wish that upon no one. I signed pretty young, and I was like, I think I was 15 when I first signed, or 14, like about to turn 15, to a manager. And I just had no idea like what I was doing on that side of things. I didn't understand that world. I didn't understand how many people used other people and how much of it was lies and how many people just talk the talk. Like I didn't get that. I was from a small town. I was like a Canadian kid where people are like very about their word and kind. You know what I mean?
So it was what happened? You have to give me exact details, but like I deal with managers for background. This is my life is dealing with agents, managers. So I always find it interesting, these relationships, because you're 15, but you also need help, not because you're not smart enough to deal with the shit. You just don't have the time.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I pretty much signed to someone who was claiming they were like super in with the social media world. And they were like, this person's my cousin and this person, you know, like the whole like 9 yards of them just like bullshitting. And
really, they know like the agent of the person who knows the person.
Yeah. And they like promised me this tour and all this stuff, and it looked great. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. I met with them one time. I had my dad meet with them, but it's like my dad, who's a math teacher in a town of 17,000 people, probably doesn't know the entertainment space any more than myself, like at 14 would, right? So we were really going off of like just trusting how good this guy seemed to us. Stuck into a terrible contract. They pretty much, like the one person, because I had one manager, like that was it, watched everything I did. I wasn't allowed to post a video without approval. I wasn't allowed to post a tweet without it being read over. I wasn't allowed to go on my phone while live streaming. None of the shit I did, I had control over for a year and a half.
Because he was scared of brand safety?
I don't even know. It was brand safety / I think just being controlling. And it almost turned into like it was creepy. It got creepy. Like it got to the point where it was like, I was like, I gotta leave. I feel like I'm gonna be like, it was weird, man. It was so weird. You know what I mean? Like, I think the guy think I was like his kid or something.
No, I know what you mean. Things I like it is such an odd dynamic when you have that agent relationship. And then I know Michael and I see kind of what you're working with now, but it's an odd situation when you have these people who, particularly older people, who claim they know how to do things and then tell a younger person what they should do with their content and how they should have their career. And they're suddenly mapping a kid's career and being the gatekeeper, both for content and also different opportunities.
100%. And then when it steps over into like personal life is when it gets really weird. Like you're not allowed to get a girlfriend. You're not allowed to. Well,
that's just like, that's when you say, obsessive. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So like, that's when I kind of was like, all right, firing this guy, I need to go do my own thing. And I did that. So that was in maybe 2 months before the summer of 2019.
So you're a social media star at this point. Is that fair to say?
I don't think so. Personally, I wouldn't call myself that. I had probably, I think like 4 million on TikTok at the time. So I was like, all right. I didn't even have a million on Instagram, probably not even close. Maybe like 500,000, 400,000. So I was doing social media. I had like an all right engagement. I wasn't a star, I wouldn't say, or I wasn't even close to the level I'm at now. And there were just also so many people at my level then, I think.
Right.
So I knew that this tour was going to set me apart if I went on it. This tour called Lights Out Tour. I knew that would be my push into the stardom, or like.
Why did you think that?
Because I had watched what tours had done for the last 3 years to every single person that went on them in social media. Like, I watched the end of MagCon, which every single kid then was the popping social media star. After they did that tour, they were all the most hyped up kids. And then after that, it went into Boys of Summer. For 2 years in a row, Boys of Summer, every kid that went on that tour after went up probably, they would grow double what they started that tour with, right? Like they would.
Is that mostly just though because you guys were all posting with each other? It's almost like a moving collab house. It's less that live experience. It's more that it's like TikTok houses before TikTok houses were TikTok houses.
Exactly, because collabing was so big back then. Now it's almost like collabing doesn't even seem like a real thing because you just post with who's in your house because everyone has a house now. But back then, that those collabs for 3 weeks that you were on tour, you knew that you and the tour would run the For You page or run social media or run the hype on social media for that time. And then you would also probably own it for the whole summer because that's what was talked about. It was like, oh, this is the tour of the summer. This is what is going to be hype for 2 months.
Right.
And seeing that, knowing where I was kind of at that point where I needed like one viral trend or one viral like controversy to blow me up and just put me past some people, I was like, all right, lights out tour, that's going to be it. My manager wasn't letting me do it. So that, like I said, that's when I was like, all right, fired, moving on to my own. I'm just going to do everything myself. Went on that tour. I was right. It absolutely catapulted my career. And then actually from that went on another tour during that summer. So I did 2 tours. Went from getting maybe 150,000 likes on Instagram to ending the tours with over like 500,000. Like I was getting like 400, 500K. So moved to LA at that point, went to Bryce Hall's house, was hanging out with him, Jaden, Anthony, Griffin. And that's where I felt like we all just got ripped off on tour. We didn't get paid. The tour made like over $1 million. I got paid $750.
Wait a second. Say that again.
The tour, one of the tours, I know for a fact, made over $1 million.
Yeah.
I got paid $750 for going to like every tour stop. And then I also noticed that we would do these dinner dates on the tour, which were $100 extra. Like you could buy any ticket you want, but if you wanted a dinner date, it was like $100. And we would sit at these tables with these girls after, like there would be a different venue you'd go to, and it was like a restaurant, like Red Robin or whatever. And we would sit there with like 15 girls, one person. Like I would have 15 girls at my table. Anthony would have 15. Peyton has 15 girls. But that's $1,500 alone at that dinner right there. I did like 10 of those.
VIP tables.
Yeah, but if I do like
Josh.
But if I do 10 of those and they're each worth 100, like that's 1,000.
Right.
How am I getting $750 by the end of the tour when I would do 10 girls at once in one night, like all at the table with me?
Right.
It was just crazy. So that's when TalentX came to be. I talked to Michael Gruen. I met him at Bryce's, and I was like, my friends are getting ripped off. I hate to see it. I'm getting ripped off. I'm getting pissed. What can we do to fix this in the social media world? Because there is no like actors union or, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing that protecting the creator. So that was the goal, to create TalentX. And then we went and started that. And kind of like you said, like from the tour, I was like, wait, when we grew the most was when we were all together on tour. Why would we stop that? Why stop this momentum? Let's just move in together and create a permanent collab house. And then, that's kind of where Sway came from. And we all started blowing up after that.
So this is kind of unrelated, but do you think, to me, you're obviously one of the initial TikTok houses. There's been other of them, but it's kind of reached a point, in my opinion, where we're somewhat in a bubble. We are manufacturing TikTok houses all over LA that are not authentically friends, at least from the outside looking in. And what makes you guys play is that you were authentically friends beforehand and it works. But I cringe a little bit when I see, to me, it's like a bubble in a stock market where everyone's trying to rush on this new trend because the word TikTok house is cool. But you have to figure out what the next thing is after a TikTok house. You can't just be replaying the same strategy.
Right. You can't just grab 15 like TikTokers that you think are dope and just throw them in a house and be like, all right, now become friends, post content together. Let's see what happens. Because they're going to end up, they're going to end up like all the other houses there are, right? Even the biggest houses now, like, I don't think they're even houses.
Right. And so I kind of asked you this a couple of different points, but I still don't get the mindset of I'm 18 years old, I'm making money, I'm in LA. I'm not going to try to say live that Jake Paul lifestyle, but you could just live that fucking like, I'm just going to party, own LA. And like, that's the move. And then since then you've done about like you've gone to the investing angle, you launched your energy drink, like you did TalentX. Like, why not just chill for a second?
Because I'm 18. I got lightning in a bottle right now. I have an opportunity that is handed to probably how many social media influencers are there that have gotten to this point? Maybe 100 in total. If you count every YouTuber, every TikToker, every Viner, there might have been like 100 people that have gone to this spot. I can't waste it, because honestly, when I look at every other creator that has gone to the point where I am, they have wasted it. They haven't given everything they've got, or else there would be a first social media billionaire by now, or there would be a social media influencer that's making funds and starting companies. There's just not.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast is the one that has been like stepping into that field. Like, I think Mr. Beast is the one person that's like killing it and doing everything to that extent. I think that Jake Paul and Logan Paul had the opportunity to do everything I'm doing, and they just messed up. They just had a few mistakes that costed them like a little too much. And that's why I'm not partying. I can't party left and right every day now. And when I first came to LA, I kind of did. Like, I was this young 17-year-old who moved to LA, moved into a mansion, was making a lot of money. I had more money than any 17-year-old kid in my town. It was mind blowing. I didn't even like understand it. And then I come here where everyone just starts hyping you up, and they're just like, you're the best. They're all these yes men, and they're like, let's party, let's get drunk, let's do this. And you kind of just like fall into it. And that's when Sway was like, kind of had like we had a pretty bad rep. And we still do because of it, like to a certain extent. But for like the first 5 months, it was like not great. And then I kind of had a huge wake up call. That's why I don't chill anymore, because I already kind of chilled for 5 months.
you're like 18 going on like 27.
I don't know about that. I still make a lot of mistakes. Like, I don't try to act all like high and mighty.
No, so this is I think you do make a lot of mistakes, and that's why I love this move about the brand deals. And it's like the most counterintuitive but self-aware thing. So you have this quote, I don't have it in front of me, but it was the essential thing. Essentially what you were saying was, take brand deals for example. That's every creator's number one revenue stream.
Yeah.
True. We took the risk and we completely eliminated that.
100.
So that's you saying, I know if I'm going to be authentically Josh, I'm going to put this revenue source that I'm going to want. So like, let's take the Pauls, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, when they got in trouble and they still working through it, their revenue sources, a lot of it was brand money. And then if you're Jake Paul, it's pretty hard to get a brand deal right now.
Super hard.
So you're basically saying, you're not saying you're those guys, but you're saying you play this out. I don't want to be in a world, I want to be bulletproof. So I'm not reliant on brand money to keep me alive and to steer my content.
100%, because look how many social media creators get even like canceled now, right?
Yeah.
It's left and right every single day. And we were trying to put out like a message or an image of, one, we're going to do things even when people tell us we can't. Like, we will make it happen. Like, we will do what people say can't be done. No one's thought that as social media creators, especially TikTokers, who have the stigma like we talked about, where they're kind of cringy and like these like do-gooders. no one thought TikTokers could like post what we post and still blow up. It wasn't done before. I remember creators posting a picture on Instagram where they would flip off the camera. They would literally just put up their middle finger on camera, and they would get canceled for that because they did TikTok or Musically, and it was like kind of just a softer platform. Like people feelings were a little bit more hurt on that platform, I guess. So when we were coming on here, we were posting whatever the hell we wanted. Yeah, it costed us brand deals, but we were staying authentic to who we are. We weren't letting a hacker get into our Snapchat, post a video of us drinking, and people being like, they lie all the time. They say they don't do that, and they do. Like, no one can post anything about us that we do, that we say differently. We practice what we preach, right? And then also something that I like to say, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. I
kind of like to just throw a little reverse on that. And it's like, we can't join the brand deals, so we're just going to beat every single one of them and own our own, like own it ourselves.
Right.
For example, Red Bull, like I was shotgunning it in all my YouTube videos at the start with Bryce. We were shotgunning.
Why are you shotgunning Red Bulls? Can't you just drink them like a normal human?
We wanted to like kind of like, I guess.
Well, you only have like 15 seconds, right? You have to get your drink in quick.
Yeah, we got to get that drink down fast. And then when we would do it in our YouTube videos, it was like kind of showing we're high energy. We were just implementing that message. And then as well,
did you do the shirtless?
Kind of a sense of
this is probably when I was like, fuck this kid.
I would say 70% of the time it was probably not shirtless shotgunning.
Okay.
But 30% probably was.
Okay.
But then I saw this trend on TikTok where people start shotgunning energy drinks. And like, that's not a thing. One, not very healthy. Two, not a thing that people ever did. And then they're tagging us. They're like challenging us, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of likes and millions of views. And I'm like, all right, fuck this. We are giving Red Bull way too much free promo. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting a brand deal from them. I'm going to start my own company. So then Bryce and I started talking because we both noticed that. And that's when Annie Energy came to be. We created our own energy drink because we saw that we could move product for another drink. Why not just move our own?
Right. So if you're not doing brand deals, where is the money coming for Josh right now? Like, what are the revenue streams for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different revenue streams that I kind of just create. If it's either using just different platforms like YouTube is monetized, right? Or TikTok live streaming monetized, selling merch.
Yep, new BFF merch in the shop.
Exactly, that stuff sold out in like 3 hours.
It was actually a good looking sweatshirt. I'm thinking. Well, I can't buy it now, but
you can't. Yeah, don't worry. But I'll try to send you one.
Okay.
It's actually crazy quality. I got it back and I was like, oh shit, this isn't even merch. This is like clothing.
Did Barstool do it, or was that your team?
Yeah, Barstool did it. Yeah. They have a crazy merch team. They whip that shit up in like a day. Yeah, it's insane. But and then also there's when I'm investing in companies, a lot of the times like I'm looking at maybe the next new social media platform that has monetization. Like for example, I invested in this company called Versus Gaming, and their platform is all about voting, right? So you go on and you pretty much vote on this app between two choices, and you get you watch an ad, you get a free 50 cents or 50 coins, whatever, of this virtual currency. And then you go and you vote on who you think's going to win. If it's maybe PlayStation versus Xbox, what is liked more? What do you think's going to win, right? All these people will go in and vote, and then whatever side has the most votes wins. And then you win money back. But the person that puts up that game, they also get a cut of it. So for example, what I was doing when I was back home is I would find a way to double dip almost while I was live streaming. Is I would make money off the revenue of my live stream. And then I was also at the same time pushing a sports game because I would be watching sports while I was live. I'd watch Toronto Raptors versus New York Knicks, right? And I'd be like, all right, guys, I'm taking Toronto Raptors. I love Toronto personally. You guys go vote. There's a link in my TikTok bio. Go vote who you guys think's going to win. Watch a free ad, get free, and then you guys can win some money too. And then people would go do it and like watch this ad, get free money, blah, 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 go vote. And they would also be donating to my stream at the same time. So I was making revenue in 2 different areas at once, right? So it's like I create the revenue stream.
I appreciate you because you own it. A lot of creators who will listen, they got revenue streams, but they'll try to hide it. I appreciate the authentic, like, this is how we're doing.
Hell yeah. I try to be very upfront with it too, just because a big part of it for me is trying to educate these young kids. I know that if I was watching myself, like if 14-year-old Josh was able to watch 18-year-old Josh, I would learn so much, because that's what I did when I was younger. When I was watching Jake Paul or Logan Paul, like I would be like, all right, what are they doing in their vlogs? Like what makes them sell more merch? What are they doing to create controversy? How are they making sure their views go up from video to video? I would study that stuff. And I mean, that's why I try to be kind of open about it, and like also like teach financial literacy and all of that, just because I think it's important for the youth to learn that, Gen Z.
So one trend is a little bit of different, changing topic I've seen amongst startups, and you've probably seen it, is right now one of the hardest problems if you're to start a consumer startup right now is distribution, because Facebook ads are really expensive, Instagram, Google ads. And so what you've seen is a move from not just startups doing brand deals with creators, but doing equity agreements with creators. So whether it's, I've seen you do it, I saw Charlie and Step do it, and that was a big splash in the space. Are you hearing those conversations when you're having discussions with different companies on, not only do we want you to invest, but we also want to work out a way for you to help solve our distribution problem?
Well, I mean, I think that, and this is a big claim, but
here we go.
I think that the Sway Boys kind of started bringing that to the community in a sense, because for the last, we were doing that way before that Step deal with like Charlie, for example. I've always been looking for equity grabs. That's been the whole strategy, because we knew we couldn't do brand deals as much and we weren't able to get that instantaneous cash. So we were like, all right, well, let's fill up the long-term bucket. Let's fill up this equity play where I'm going to go get equity in Dog for Dog with Snoop Dogg, this dog food company that I have, or a company with Ellen on Hyde, or like it just go down the list, right? That was kind of our play, like Triller, going over to Triller. Like we were always finding ways to create an equity play where we're gonna, in 5 to 10 years, or maybe 3 when something goes public, or on like a SPAC, whatever, or the company sells, like we're gonna get a check then, instead of worrying about the 10 to 30,000, 50,000, whatever brand deal you're getting right now for like a one-off post.
Right. So do those deals, you have to give specifics, but do those deals include Josh is going to do this many posts for this brand, this quarter? How do they think about that? Or is it more of you're investing, you get equity, and the expectation is you're going to keep on promoting because incentives are aligned, right? If we win, you win.
I think it's a little bit of both. Is what I've seen, is like sometimes you're gonna like talk to a company, like if I'm investing in a company, and then they'll give me advisories or something like that as well, right? Like into investment. Sometimes they're like, all right, but we also want to know we have this committed from you. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, they're just gonna give you free money,
because that would be my fear.
It's like
I
maybe
sign Josh, and then Josh
doesn't
invest, but I'm letting him in the round, but I don't know. I want to know what that media plan looks like. I want to have that. I'll put it bluntly. I want to have that leverage over Josh, where his advisory shares grant on a quarterly basis, so I know that we're both aligned, where this isn't just a one-stop. Josh is in my company. It's a long-term
100%.
agreement.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense for a lot of companies to do, because a lot of them are scared, because this is such a big jump from just even like giving a $100,000 budget to like the Sway House for a brand deal, right? Like this is so much more than that. When you're actually like an investor in a company, or like you're getting equity, you're getting that skin in the game. So sometimes
most creators don't get that. They'll say, because you think about the percentage messes with people's heads, and they think if I'm a creator and I'm doing an equity deal, I deserve 40, 30, some massive split. And I think
they don't get it. they
They,
don't
they don't get,
understand numbers. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I
No,
think you're an entrepreneur in your heart. Like, sure, you do social media, but
right.
what got me really excited about this interview is you're an entrepreneur, and in your head, you're like, all right, I get that 1% of a $1 billion company is pretty fucking awesome versus
Yeah, and
trying to
a lot
fight
of the
for,
times it's not even it's a lot. Sometimes it's not even a percent, right? Like
right,
you're getting 0.1% in a company, but
right.
that can be worth $1 million. It's definitely sometimes, you know, the company has good faith like with you, and they're just like, we want advisory in this. We're gonna use your name a lot for press though, so let us like have your name for press, and then hopefully every once in a while like you'll throw a tweet up about us or you'll repost some press or something like that, right? But others will be like, all right, we want 2 Instagram stories every quarter. We want tweet every 3rd week. And so, yeah, it just changes.
Yeah, I'd be the annoying one who wanted like the reviews. I've been
Of
ghosted
course,
by too many.
I would do
Well,
that too.
not you, but I've been ghosted by I've done about worked with about 1,000 influencers, and so the 1% chance that you've been ghosted and it sits in your heart and it
Oh,
fuels you forever. All right, final question. You already kind of talked about the manager thing, but one question I like to ask people is something that didn't go well. Something we just hyped you up for the past 45
right.
minutes. What was something that Josh did where Josh is like, older Josh just regrets doing that?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things, man. This way boys don't have a great past. I would say like, uh, I talked a little bit about it, but the partying scene, like when I
Right,
came to LA, and I think it's very public. Like if you actually look it
right.
up, like you pretty much find everything I've ever done. But I just made a lot of mistakes for probably like a 2-month window or period. There were just like a lot of dumb actions I was doing with partying and then posting content while partying or posting content with the partying in it. And it costed me a lot. It cost me like a ton of money, one. And then two, it kind of pivoted my career in a way I didn't necessarily want it. I thought it was going to pivot it in a different, like I thought it was going to go more into the guy demographic and the male demographic, but it kind of just made me look like more of a douchebag, I would say, than anything. It didn't really work. So I think like that is probably one main thing. Like I think partying and going out and having fun is like everyone should do it. Obviously not right now during COVID, but like everyone should go do that and like work hard, play hard. You know what I mean? But I was just playing a lot harder than I was working.
Yeah, I'd say I've noticed, I don't know if it's coherent between you and Michael, but I feel like you are on a smart press tour right now of like Josh, like the whole Sway House is like, we are not TikTok fuck boys anymore. We are trying
Yeah.
to present ourselves differently. But I
Uh,
appreciate it because I do feel the authenticity. I referenced at the beginning. I was like, I'm just impressed when I go through what you've done in that you own that it's a business and it's always been a business and you kind of have owned it, but you're now kind of moving to the next step in your career.
yeah, 100%, man.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for doing this, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, this was a fun podcast.
I hope
I
you're not
actually,
just saying that, but
no. Like usually, I like when I do business podcasts. Actually, the last few have been pretty great.
the pomp
Pomps
one
was
was good.
awesome. Yeah, Pomps was super fun. I did Ed Millette, which was super fun as well. But usually, I'm doing like business podcasts, and I feel like I'm either like talking to a wall, or
Right.
sometimes I just zone out. Like, and it's not on the people. It's just like I'm kind of a guy that likes it to be exciting, or I like to be able to free flow and like just shoot shit. And like I laughed a lot in actually this podcast, so it was fun as hell.